What's going on, everybody? Eric here, back in the video for you guys today. And today you guys are seeing some actual monumental bench footage. So I think the last time I shared bench footage with you guys, I was doing 170 pounds for either 5 or 7 reps, and that was a grind if you watch that video. Now you guys can see I'm doing 200 for a 5x7. If you guys aren't already aware, I am running the Ogus 753 program made by Matthew Ogus, and it has been doing phenomenal for my bench. And when I'm talking phenomenal, I mean like my bench has been flying up. And I don't think it's too much to do with the actual program itself. I think it's more or less, one, I've really got my own personal form down. As you guys can see, if you watch the clips, I do the same movement every single time. So I think that that's a big key. And another thing is I've been also doing a lot of overhead pressing in the program, whereas before I didn't take it as seriously. In this program, it's pretty much a main lift. It is a main lift, and so that's what I treat it as, and thus my bench gains have been plentiful. So my poverty bench is slowly becoming better and better and better. In fact, this is actually this is a week old. The bench press training session that I just did a couple of days ago, the program called 210 for a 7x5, and I got that just fine. And next week is going to be like a crazy deciding factor. It's going to be 225 for a 10x3. I definitely think I can get it. My bench has just been flying up, and I'm super excited to do that. But as you guys can see, this is the last set, and you're probably wondering, I thought you did 5 sets. Well, I did, or this is the last set. I did do 5 sets, but unfortunately, I didn't record the very last set. I thought I did, but I did not, which is kind of unfortunate, but I did record the rest of the workout. Had a really good workout overall. Worked on my back, worked on some just general bicep, tricep, and some upper chest. I think the biggest lagging body part that I actually have at the moment, or the couple of lagging body parts, mainly the upper chest, because that's something that's an eye-popping thing, you can tell. My calves, and then my rear delts. So those are my top 3 probably lacking body muscles. You can definitely tell when I do pull-ups that my rear delt is just not there. It's there, but it's not actually there, unfortunately. So I've definitely got to do a lot more rear delt exercises. I got to take the rear delt exercises as seriously as I take my main lift exercises. But that's for another story. I digress. Overall, training's been going really well, and I'm super excited with the progress. But I do start my cut March 4th, which kind of makes me a little bit sad, because I know that once I start cutting, the chances of me actually continuously improving and continuously getting stronger will diminish over time, as both my caloric intake goes down, as well as the amount of cardiovascular or catabolic type movements go up. So unfortunately, I'm going to be risking a little bit of strength for a lot of just shreds, but I'm super excited to kind of reveal a lot of the muscle that I've gained just by looking at some photos of my off season, which is what I'm currently in now. Just by looking at some of these photos, I can see just how big certain muscle groups have gotten, including my calves, legs, a little bit of my arms, but mainly my chest, and I want to say my quads, but it's kind of hard to tell with all the subcutaneous fat I've got around the actual quadricep itself. But overall, the training sessions have been going really well as of late, and I'm super excited to start my cut. I'm going to start by introducing a lot more cardio first, that way I can continue to eat a lot of food, so hopefully my gains will not be too, taken away for the most part. One thing I want to note about my upper body training that I'm doing is I just started including some more incline barbell. I used to do incline dumbbell, but I felt like I was getting stagnant and nothing was improving. And so I've moved back to incline barbell, and as you guys can see, it may look a little fast, but I'm really controlling the muscular contraction. I'm going all the way down to my actual clavicle, or right below my clavicle, and I'm really focusing on pushing as hard as I can with my chest before my triceps eventually take over, as well as I'm doing some incline overall dumbbell flies, which have really been helping with the overall contraction of my entire chest, not just upper, my entire chest, from some cues from Jeff Nippard's video about moving your biceps to touch each other. Even though it's impossible, that's what I think of. And I'm probably going to be doing some more videos here pretty soon, mainly focusing on how to improve your bench press, how to improve your overall lifts in general. Going to go over some just very simple techniques, and I'm super excited to do some of those videos, as well as obviously show you guys my overall physique change as things happen. If you guys aren't already following me, I'd recommend you guys follow me on Instagram, because that's going to be my most active when it comes to showing you my actual physique. You guys will be seeing Instagram stories, Instagram photos, all that kind of stuff. YouTube is going to be more of like video of my training sessions and how those progress, more or less how my physique progresses. But when it comes to my cut and my diet on March 4th, I do expect to be kind of over exaggerated on how much information I show with you guys. And what I mean by that is literally as much as I can, as much as I remember. I'm gonna be taking photos of the scale, I'm gonna be taking photos of my food, I'm gonna be sharing my physique, I'm gonna be sharing, you know, a whole sleuth of different information, so that I can help you guys out, because that's ultimately what the goal of this channel is to show people that natural athletes like myself and many others can go from a higher percentage body fat, being strong, go to a lower percentage body fat, look good, and still be relatively strong. Now, the thing that I've noticed in the past is when I get really lean, my upper body strength reduces, but my lower body strength increases. And I think the reason that happens is because although my body weight is going down, to overcompensate with that, my weight on the bar goes up, because I'm losing a lot more body weight. So what I'm doing lower body wise is just kind of relatively staying in the same strength level, unfortunately. But I think that's going to be different this year. I really think that my upper body is going to stay intact because of the neuromuscular efficiency and the overall form that I have established with my bench press techniques. I think that's another video I'm probably going to do for another time. That's going to be just kind of regarding proper bench setup for a beginner, an intermediate, and then when I feel like I've become an advanced bench press, just a more advanced bench presser, I'll probably make an advanced video, but I'm just going to do a beginner video and an intermediate video, because I do truly believe I'm intermediate. Theoretically, I can bench 275. That's theoretically. I've not actually tested that, but theoretically, the calculators say I can do 275. So hopefully, I can actually do that. I plan on doing a mock meet here probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks before my cut actually begins really hardcore hitting me. And so I really want to see what my strength is at the end of this kind of off-season bulk, kind of eat whatever the hell I want kind of thing I got going on right now. So after this training session, or after this training week that I've got coming up, which is actually a really heavy week, I'm going to try and record as much as I can, because it's going to be one of the last ones that I'm probably actually going to be able to do. It is a 10x3 on all 4 major lifts: overhead press, bench press, deadlift, and squat. So that's going to be great to show you guys how relatively strong I am in those 4 movements. And then after that week is going to be a deload week, and a deload week is 60 to 65-ish% of my estimated one rep max. And so basically, I'm just going to be kind of letting my muscles still use the motor patterns that they're familiar with, but not with the most amount of weight that they can handle. And so that's going to help me prepare for the next week, which is going to be literally balls to the walls, hardcore, you know, 1 rep max attempts that I'm probably going to do. Now, I've been doing this bicep exercise. I know we're going to flip to a different subject, but I've been doing this bicep exercise for actually a little bit now, and I notice the more I do it, the more I feel it in my actual bicep. I feel a really good peak contraction, as well as a nice, decent little pump. Unfortunately, it might be the camera angle, but my arms look very tiny from this specific view, which is unfortunate because I feel that they look big when I do this, but that's just me personally. My goal is to do this actual bicep movement and look big, because if I look big doing this movement, then I probably look big not doing this movement, and that's kind of the important part. I know I should probably have my neck more back, because of the nerve that runs into the neck actually goes down the shoulder and into the bicep, and it would be more in line, which is more optimal for overall gains. I do have my shoulder blades pinned back during this movement though, so unfortunately I don't think I can get that full perfect range, like cervical range of motion backwards. But I am really focusing on the contraction here. I did a little bit of push-ups. This is something I do for my warm-up on chest days as well, and occasionally I'll use it as a burnout for the triceps towards the end of the workout, just because I know that it will really burn out my triceps. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you don't know I had wrist pain. My right wrist, the wrist that you guys are actually seeing, hurt so bad I could not do push-ups. And so now my wrist is finally to the point to where it can actually get to that angle under load, under my own body weight, and it doesn't hurt. So I've really been trying to incorporate them in my warm-ups, incorporate them in my burnout sets, incorporate them at the end of my workouts as much as possible, because push-ups are a shoulder girdle dream. They really push your scapula through all of the range of motions, the transverse range of motions, and that's really, really beneficial to the overall musculature of the scapula. So it's really awesome movement to do, especially if you just do it for reps, do it for light weight. You don't really need to put any weight on your back as long as you're just doing the actual movement in general. It can really, really benefit your shoulders, your chest, your triceps, and your scapula. So I love doing push-ups, and I'm glad that I can actually do them again. Here we go. On the note of actual rear delt deficiencies, I have been increasing some of the volume. This used to be a prime movement that I would do for my rear delts, but I don't feel it as much as I used to when I first began lifting. I think it's more of a mind to muscle connection kind of thing. I'm sure if I do this movement more, I'll actually create a better connection with my muscle, but unfortunately I wasn't feeling it today. But there are other movements that I can do that I really feel it really well and feel a nice knot in both of my rear delts. This is just not one of those movements. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to stop doing this because I didn't feel like it was actually giving me too much benefit, even though on footage it appears to be giving me a slight contraction. But I think my traps were taking over a little bit too much, and it was just causing no overall advancement in my rear delt, just progression. So after these, I did just a very, very light burnout of a machine chest. Basically, I just kind of turned to one side and just kept pushing. And you guys will see this at the very end. And I just trying to burn out my chest as much as possible, just flush blood into it. I actually got a really good pump and went into the locker room and took a mini physique video for you guys. So that's pretty cool. You guys will be seeing that as well. That's about it for me today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could leave a like or a comment, I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe and share this if you feel like it's useful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, guys, peace. Not at